They hide in your closet, creeping out as you hide under the cover. They lurk under the bed and in the shadowy corners of your room. Their eyes glow red in the darkness of the forest. And if you're out at sea, they can easily pull you under like a wave pulling back from the shore. Okay, I think that really set the mood. Today is going to be all about monsters. We're going to have a couple of categories, but they're basically going to flow into each other. So I say we just get going. So first up, let me just give you some charming monsters and fantasy shenanigans. First, we got Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldre. And you know, it's just an orc wanting to give up the battlefield to become a barista. You know, build her own little coffee shop. This is monster packed, but they're just so magical and beautiful. It's one of the best found families that I've ever read. And now for something a little more spicy, and that's That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. So we follow our main character. She just wants to, live her life in peace. And then one night she gets drunk, she saves a demon, and then he hauls her along this quest, trying to, get redemption for his kind. And things happen. I had a lot of fun with this book. I did feel like the humor really spoke to me, but the spicier scenes pulled me out of the story a little bit, but that might just be me because I still had a fun time with the book. And you might feel differently about it, and let me know if you do. So there we have it with the charming monsters, and we're going to move on to monsters inside us. Yeah, that other one might have been that as well, but let's just not go there, okay? First of all, we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Now this, if you haven't picked it up, I would highly urge you to do so, because this was so good. And yes, it's gothic, it's romantasy, and romantasy is really, really good. And I love the dialogue, but the magic system in this one as well. Oh, so where does the monster come in? Well, the main character calls him the Nightmare, and he's an ancient spirit trapped inside her head. I mean, come on. Try it if you haven't. Next one is a little bit of an older one. I talked about it in my creepy recommendations as well. And that's The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Sometimes I just want to say things in Swedish instead of English, but M.R. Carey. And sometimes it's hard to know if you're the monster or if other people are the monsters. And here the author walks you through the moral line of which one of those might be true. And it might be in more ways than one. Lastly, we got a classic, and that's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I was a little bit surprised by this one when I read it, because I've mainly seen, the movies and the musical, and I didn't know that this was told from another person's perspective and not Dr. Jekyll's perspective. This person sees the change that is going on in Dr. Jekyll, but he doesn't really know what is happening exactly. I just love the story and the dimensions of it. And if you haven't read it yet, it's a short classic, and I would love to hear what you think about it. We also got some classic creatures. Yeah, you see that smooth transition? Yeah. First up, we have Dracula by Bram Stoker. So I haven't read this yet, so why did I include it in the list? Well, I just feel like vampires and Dracula, it's such a classical creature, So many other books has been built on this story, and what we think of as a vampire, it's just such a popular creature as well, the vampire. So I could not include it. And I've also thought about doing a special project for this particular book. And speaking of books that are built on Dracula, we've got Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This book came about because King was asking himself the question, what would happen if Dracula, or a Dracula-like vampire, settle down in a small, sleepy Southern American town. So that was the whole premise for the book, and whoa, what a book. It's so good, and how how things just start happening and people just go about their daily lives and have no idea. So if you're into vampire stories and haven't read that one, I would highly recommend you trying it. Moving on from vampires, we got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It's so hauntingly beautiful and sad and reflecting. It became one of the best classics that I have ever read. Here we have that moral line again, who's the monster and who's not, and I just really, really love this book. And now, speaking of Frankenstein, I also want to recommend this book, and that's Mary's Monster. This book is a very poetic story about Mary Shelley's life and the creation of Frankenstein, told through beautiful illustrations. And then you got very lyrical texts, almost like reading a diary. And of course it's fiction, but you can also feel like this is how someone in her position could have felt and could have thought. It's just so beautiful. And the pictures, like the illustrations, is amazing. Just look at that. And it's just such an interesting and fascinating story, and also very sad and lonely, and also filled to the brim with just so much of everything. And this book just touched my heart, really, with how it's written, the language, the illustrations, everything just comes together really beautifully. So there we have it. Here's all the monsters for today's video. And you know what? This is just part one. There's so many monsters out there, I just couldn't include them all in one video. So if you like your monsters, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.